Okay, Max, so you had asked me during class if you could do the fractions on the calculator. And if you look at this calculator that I've got here, there are no fraction buttons, and the calculator that you're allowed to use on tests will not have a fraction button. But we can take this fraction and we can turn it into a decimal. So imagine the bar that's in the middle of the fraction between the 1 and the 4. And imagine that this is a division sign. So 1/4 means I am taking 1 and I'm cutting it into 4 pieces. So that is 1 divided by 4. So if you will put that into the calculator, so first you would start with the numerator, start with the number on top, the 1, even though it's smaller, and you are going to divide. So I'm going to hit that button there, or you may have a division symbol, and I'm going to divide by 4, and I hit equal. And it tells me that it is equal to 25 cents. Okay, so let's say I had 3/8. Okay, so the 3 is on top, so that would be 3 divided by 8. So I'm going to clear out my calculator. Oops, let me switch over to here. Okay, so 3 divided by 8 equals. And it tells me the answer is 0.375. 0.375. Now, when you do the fraction, it's going to tell you what comes after the decimal. After the decimal. So let's say I had something like I had 5 and 1/4. Okay, so the 5 is going to come in front of the decimal. So it's going to be 5 decimal, and then the 1/4 is what I'm going to put in the calculator to turn into a decimal. So I do 1 divided by 4 equals. And so that 0.25 after the decimal, I'm going to put 0.25. So let's try another one. Let's say I had 6 7/10. So it's going to be 6 decimal, and then I would do 7 divided by 10, hit equals, and so it's 0.7. So the 7 comes after that decimal, so 0.7. So now I'm going to look at some problems and see how I could use this to help me on like a test question. So I'm going to take my calculator and move it over here. So here is the first question that we're doing every day. So you've got that 5 6/10. And you want to take away 3 4/10, so that's going to be 3 point. Now we've got to turn that fraction into a decimal. So I'm going to do 1 divided by 4. So it's top divided by the bottom. So I get 0.25. Now I can put this in the calculator because now they're both decimals. So now I could go, okay, I've got 5 6/10, and I'm taking away 3 25/100, and I get 2 35/100. So now I can plug it into the calculator. Okay, so I'm going to look at the homework. So I'm looking for problems on here that have fractions. Like look at number 10. Number 10, I've got 6 3/4, and I've got 1 1/2, and it is asking for the total on this one. So that's an addition problem. Okay, so I want to turn these into decimals. So this is going to be 6 point something. This is going to be 1 point something. Okay, so let me get that calculator back out. Okay, so 6 3/4, I have to do 3 divided by 4. And it's going to give me 7,500, so like 75 cents. So I'd put the 0.75. Okay, and then I've got 1 1/2. So 1/2 is 1 divided by 2, and it's top divided by bottom. So I get 0.5, so I'm going to put a 0.5 there. Okay, so now these two numbers can be added up in the calculator. Okay, so now I'm going to clear it out, and I get 6.75 plus 1.5 equals, and I get 8.25. So $8.25. $8.25. Now you'll notice that my answer choices are not in decimals, but I know it's not going to be A or B because they have 7. Okay, so then I need to turn these two into decimals. Okay, so I would say, okay, 8 1/4. Okay, 1 divided by 4 equals, so that is 25 cents. So this would be 8.25. Okay, and then if I go to the one with the 3/4, okay, 3 divided by 4 equals, it's going to be 75 cents. So that's 8.75. So you can see that the answer is actually C. So it may take some practice, but once you've practiced a while turning your fractions into decimals, you'll get really quick at just plugging those into the calculator and doing those. And then you can do any of your fraction problems on the calculator as a decimal. Okay, so we may have to have like a tutoring session or something to practice this, but hopefully that will help you out. Okay, good luck, Max.